Hello, everyone, and today we are looking at the Penny Lab. So, we're actually doing a lab today. If you're doing this virtually, yes, you can still do this at home. Let's get this going, though. So, first and foremost, please put your name at the top. My name is Miss Moronic. Please put your actual name, and then also put when your lab is due and what hour you have for science. So, what are we working on? We are taking everything we have just learned about data table and variables, and we are putting it to the test. It's a pun, but kind of works out. So, standards. I can conduct an experiment scientifically by using variables and fair testing procedures. That's going to be super important today so that we make sure we test each side of the penny and putting drops on the penny in the same way each time so that we have a fair experiment. We only want to change one thing. I can use data gathered from an experiment to analyze our findings and come to a scientific conclusion. We want to see which side of the penny is going to hold more water. And we need to be able to work safely in a lab following all lab safety procedures. Now, this is our first lab. It's pretty low stakes as far as getting hurt or lab safety, but we do it so that we have a first, this is a get your feet wet type of one. If you have any problems, it's water and it's a penny, things that you interact with in your daily life. However, you should treat all materials in this lab as if they are chemicals in a lab, because this is a lab that we're doing. Even though you're at home, even though you just got the water out of your sink, or you're going to get the water out of your sink, you're going to grab the penny from somewhere in your house, we still want to treat everything as if we are in a lab. So, continuing, our purpose. The purpose of this lab is to practice lab safety, understand variables, and practice collecting data accurately and precisely. So our question, how many drops of water can a penny hold? Can each side hold the same amount, or are they going to hold different amounts? So, prediction, you think that a penny coin will hold how many drops of water on the head side and how many drops of water on the tail side? Now, whatever your penny looks like that you go and find, just know that you're going to use the same penny, and yours might not have this exact back on it. That's okay, but you're going to use the same penny. So right now, pause the video, add how many drops of water do you think will be able to be held on each side of the penny? Okay, I'm assuming then that you've paused the video and you're back now. So things we're going to need is water, a disposable cup, a dropper, or a penny. And if you're like, oh, Miss Moronic, I'm at home, I don't have a dropper. Ideas. If you have, a lot of times, if you have, any baby medicine at home, there's a dropper there. If you have any, small amounts of liquids that are, say, for, some sort of, I don't want to say, engine. The one I'm thinking of off the top of my head is, microscope oil. Or if you've got something that has a small dropper, that would be perfect. The most common one I'm thinking of is baby medicine droppers. If you don't, you can use your finger and use one drop at a time. It does take a little bit longer, but it can be done. In fact, I've already tried it a few times just to make sure I'm telling you something is possible. Safety, wash hands when you're done with the penny lab, clean up any water that spills or is on the table, put the used penny in the used penny container for your teacher to disinfect. That's going to be here at school. Just for any materials that anyone is touching, we have to clean them between. The pipettes are going to get thrown away, and the pennies are going to get reused, but we got to just disinfect them. So the next bit is our procedure. So we want to gently squeeze a drop of water from the dropper onto the penny one at a time. And we want to do this one at a time so we can count each drop. When the water spills over the edge of the coin, record the number of drops before it spills over. Then dry off your penny, your workspace, flip the penny to the tail side, and repeat. Make sure you test each side at least once. If you have time, at least 2, 3, or even 4 trials per side would be even better. Make sure you at least get 1 trial per side. Really, you should have plenty of time to get at least 2, if not 3. So we need to know, what are our variables? So our first one is our independent variable. What is the one thing that I am changing in this experiment? So the one thing that you've heard me say over and over is each side of our penny. So head, and tail of penny. And the penny coin, to be more specific. What is our dependent variable? What are we looking to observe? We are looking to see how many drops of water each side of the penny can hold. And you know what? Yes, I'm getting out the whiteout, but we should write this. It's a scientific lab. Number penny can hold. So the number of drops of water that the penny can hold. So what are things we want to keep the same? We want to use the same penny. When we do this, either we want to use just the dropper or we want to use just our finger. So I'm going to just put same dropper. But when I say a dropper, your dropper might be your finger if you're at home and you don't have a dropper. Another thing, we want to make sure we have a clean and dry workspace. If there's water already on the workspace when you start, you're not starting a fresh test. Something else we want to control, we want to have multiple trials. Other things we probably want to use, like we could go as far as saying we want to have the same water. We could say we want to have the same atmospheric conditions. We want to do this on the same day. So if there's some humidity in the room, that's not going to impact this. You could go on and you could have multiple other things that could be correct here. We're going to stop right there for now, though. If you have other ones to add, though, those very much could be correct. So if we flip this over and then go to our data table, this is where I'm going to leave you. And yes, there will be videos going over the data table and the graph parts, but here is our data table and here is our graph. So our data table, we're going to put everything in here. Reminder, we don't put how like the units here, so we won't put like 12 drops or 1 drop or 80 drops or whatever drops. You just need to put the numbers. So make sure you put it the head, all of the trials for the head go up here, all the trials for the tail go down here. We will get those averages. We will make a graph, and then there are some conclusion questions, but I'm going to stop right here for now because this is what we need to get going on the lab. You now have time to test. And when we say testing, so here's my penny. I've got some water, and here's my pipette. So I just add 1 drop at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, keep going. If you don't have access, though, and you need to use your finger, just dip your finger in and just gently add 1 drop at a time. And you want to be careful not to, like, take all the water there, but this is what you want to do, and then count all of those drops that you have. Reminder, either do just using your finger on each of these or use just the pipette on each of these. So have fun, experiment, make sure you get lots of trials, and then I will see you in the next video from our data table and our graph. Have a great day. Bye.